Okay, what if I told you that spending $500 on a shirt was actually a smarter financial move than grabbing that $10 bargain? I know, it sounds completely backward, but let's dive into this, because today we're going to show you how that so-called cheap shirt is actually a hidden tax on your future.
And that's it, right there. That's the heart of the entire scam. See, the system is designed to make you feel clever for saving a few bucks up front. But what's really happening? It's slowly, quietly draining your resources, one purchase at a time.
I mean, you know the drill. We've all been there. You buy a shirt for about the price of a sandwich. It looks pretty good for the first wash, maybe the second. But by wash number 3, the collar's gone limp, a seam starts to twist in a weird way, and a tiny hole just appears out of nowhere. You just tell yourself, it was only $10, and you toss it. But that's not the end. That's the beginning of the ritual.
That $10? That wasn't a bargain. Nope, it was the cover charge to get in the door. You have to understand, you didn't actually buy a shirt, you started renting one. This is what we call the replacement tax, a cycle that transforms you from an owner into a perpetual consumer, all to fuel their quarterly profits. And let me be clear, this is not an accident, this is architecture.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This feeling that your wardrobe is constantly falling apart, well, it isn't some new thing. It's actually a very carefully orchestrated plan that's been in the works for nearly 100 years. To really get what's going on, we have to look back at the blueprint.
So picture this. It's Christmas of 1924. A bunch of executives from the world's biggest light bulb companies get together. They form something called the Phoebus Cartel. And they'd had this terrifying realization. If their light bulbs last forever, their revenue goes to zero. So what do? They literally made it a rule that all bulbs had to burn out. And that model, that exact playbook, is what fast fashion uses today. They use cheap materials and shoddy construction, not just because it costs less, but because it is guaranteed to fail.
And that brilliant, devious model has a name: planned obsolescence. You have to get this. The goal isn't to sell you a shirt. The goal is to sell you a subscription to having a shirt. They engineer the failure to guarantee you'll be back.
So, let's do the one thing the bargain bin prophets hope you'll ignore. Let's do the math. This is often called the boots theory, and it just brutally exposes the hidden costs of being forced to buy cheap over and over again.
All right, let's run the numbers. You buy that $10 shirt. After 5 washes, it looks like an old rag. So, that's $10 divided by 5 wears. Your cost per wear is $2. Now look, I know a $500 shirt is an extreme example, but it illustrates the principle perfectly. Let's say it's so well made it lasts for 1,000 wears. Well, $500 divided by 1,000, your cost per wear plummets to just 50 cents. And just look at that visually. The difference is, it's just staggering. Over 10 years, the person who keeps buying the bargain has spent way more money, and all they have to show for it is a pile of trash. The upfront price, it's just a distraction. The true cost is hidden in that endless replacement cycle.
And here's the real kicker. It's not just about the money you save. It's about breaking that cycle of constant spending. Instead of leaking $10 here, $20 there on replacements, you suddenly have cash. You have liquidity. Imagine taking just $50 you would have spent replacing cheap junk and investing it instead. That's it. That's how wealth starts to build. It's the difference between building a future and just being a consumer forever.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly summarizes the brutal logic of the boots theory. When you can't afford the upfront cost of quality, you get trapped in this vicious cycle where you always end up paying more in the long run.
But here's a really important warning. Not all expensive things are good things. The system is clever. It has these psychological traps built right in to make sure that even when you decide to spend more, you can still lose the game.
So first up is the Veblen trap. You know what I'm talking about. That luxury shirt with the giant logo plastered all over it. In this case, the high price is the feature. You're not paying for better stitching or fabric. You're paying a conformity tax to show other people you can afford to waste money. That's not quality. That's just marketing.
And the second trap is the Diderot spiral. This one's a little sneakier. You buy one fancy high-status item. Let's say it's that luxury shirt. And then all of a sudden, everything else you own looks kind of shabby next to it. So that shirt demands a new watch, and that new watch demands new shoes, and pretty soon you're upgrading your whole life. You become a prisoner of your own possessions. So, how do we get out? How do we escape these traps and break the cycle for good? How do we stop being just another cog in this machine of planned obsolescence?
Well, it's all about shifting your mindset from being a consumer to being an owner. And we can do that with a pretty simple framework.
Okay, so here's the 3-step audit. First, look for ugly commercial-grade stuff. Seriously. Buy the vacuum that a hotel chain uses or the pans a professional kitchen buys in bulk. They're built for constant, brutal utility, not for looking pretty on Instagram. Second, check its repairability score. Here's a simple rule. If it's held together by screws, you own it. If it's held together by glue, you're just renting it. And finally, number 3, calculate the system cost. Before you buy anything, ask yourself, what will this purchase demand that I buy next? If the answer is everything, then you know it's a Diderot spiral. Walk away.
And as you're trying to navigate all this, just keep this one idea in your head. True status isn't a brand name you wear on your chest. It's the quiet confidence that comes from owning durable, reliable tools for living your life. It's invisible.
Think about it. Our entire consumer economy is built on the velocity of trash, the speed at which we can turn valuable resources into garbage. You are the fuel for that engine. But you don't have to be. By choosing quality, by choosing durability, by choosing ownership, you become a glitch in their algorithm. So really, the only question left is, which one are you going to be?